The number one question I get asked when it comes to training is how to be more consistent. I think the problem with a lot of people when they get into working out is they go super hard at the beginning, start to see a little bit of results, and then life catches up with them, they fall off, they're inconsistent, and their results disappear. They fly away. There's a dove flying away. But it doesn't have to be this way. If you give me 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 6, I'm gonna give you some quick strategies as to how to stay consistent to make sure you keep those results long term. Once you get in shape, you should be able to stay in shape quite easily forever. So let's discuss that now. The first and most important point to being consistent is finding a way to work out that fits your schedule and is gonna continue to fit your schedule. Let me paint a scenario for you. Person A decides to commit to working out and they just go to the gym whenever they can. They try and fit it in before work or after work or at lunch or anytime they have a spare moment, they'll try and get to the gym. That's okay, but in the long term, they're gonna fall off, and I'll tell you why. When things get extra busy, the first thing to drop off is a new habit. And when that new habit's not slotted into a particular time, it's very easy to let it fall away. Let's talk about person B. They also want to commit to the gym. They decide that every morning they're gonna wake up an hour earlier. Say they used to wake up at 6, now they wake up at 5. And that extra hour they go to the gym. So no matter what, every morning they're there 5 to 6. So if you can find a place to slot it in the same time every day, preferably, it's gonna be a lot easier to keep it there when things get a bit crazy and things get a little bit busy. Let's say you're traveling. Person A, who just slotted the gym in wherever, is gonna have no time to go to the gym because they're gonna be doing stuff, they're gonna be here, there, and everywhere. Person B is still gonna wake up at 5 a.m. regardless of what country they're in, and the hotel probably has a gym. If anything, it's even easier. The hotel's like in their house. So step number 1, find a nice area of your day to slot it in the same time. Make it fit your lifestyle. Tip number 2 is to set trackable, realistic goals. When a lot of people first join the gym, their goals are purely aesthetic. They'll have an image of some celebrity or some bodybuilder in mind, and they just hold that image in their head and think, if I could look like that, I'd be satisfied. A few problems with that. Number 1, you're never gonna look like that person because it's not just their physique that makes them look that way, right? Brad Pitt from Fight Club, before everyone was muscular, used to be the ideal physique for men. And rightly so, he's lean, he looks good. The problem with that is you could achieve that physique, but you're not gonna be Brad Pitt or Arnold. You could maybe achieve that physique. No, you couldn't. If you look at some movie stars, they'll have a full-time nutritionist, a full-time personal trainer, and they'll dedicate their life for 8 months of the year to getting in shape. If you're a busy person and you've got other things going on, that's not realistic to chase after. The final thing is, chasing aesthetics is very challenging because it's not measurable. It's all perceptive. And let me tell you, your brain is gonna play tricks on you when it comes to perception. This is how people develop things like eating disorders. Everyone else sees one thing, you see something else. It's like bigorexia. When a lot of guys first start putting on muscle, quite quickly they developed a strange disconnect between how they look and how they think they look. How they look is a lot more muscular and better, but how they think they look is small and not big enough and not developed enough. And that's because an aesthetic of a physique is not trackable. There's no metrics by which to track it. It's just, how do I look? Oh yeah, I could look leaner, I could look bigger. Let me tell you, those two things are always gonna be the case. I've been training for 8 years and I could always be bigger and leaner. You know, it's not trackable, it's not measurable. An alternative to this that's a lot more trackable and measurable is something like a strength goal that corresponds with an aesthetic goal. So when I first started going to the gym, a big strength goal of mine was to bench 100 kilos. And that goal, that's very trackable and very measurable, I'll know when I've done it or not, kept me training, kept me consistent. And I had that equivalent for every body part to make sure I was hitting them all. I wanted to squat 140 kilos. I wanted to deadlift 200 kilos. That one's hard. That one took a while. I'm not suggesting be a power lifter because almost everyone gets into the gym for the aesthetic appeal, right? But when you get stronger, when you take your training seriously and are more consistent, working towards those strength goals, the aesthetics will follow. So set trackable, measurable, realistic goals. The third point is going to sound a little bit counterintuitive to some of you, especially those that are keen to dive in the deep end and really get cracking. Don't overcommit to working out. We see this problem a lot in the fitness industry with coaches that push their clients to the fucking limit for 12 weeks. And then once those 12 weeks are done, the client is malnourished, starving. Yes, they look good and they're lean, but their health is a wreck. Fitness, as boring as it sounds, should be for your entire life. Yes, we want a nice physique, but you know what's better than having a nice physique? Maintaining a nice physique. It's very doable to speed run to a finish line of a lean, muscular physique, but the real test is, can you hold that physique? I'm sure a lot of you have started at the gym before, started getting results, been going really well, but then you haven't been able to maintain them. That's because you went too hard too fast. Yes, you have to make some lifestyle changes. Of course, you're trying to get in shape, but you don't want to have to flip your entire lifestyle on its head because that's not gonna last. It's better to warm into the gym. Just start going once or twice a week. Slowly build it up to 3 or 4 times, and then just chill. 3 or 4 times a week, you're gonna be able to get the results you need. Don't feel you need to go balls to the wall 7 days a week. I'm doing cardio twice a day, because yes, that may achieve results in the short term, but it's gonna create a very unhealthy relationship between yourself and working out, and that's not gonna last in the long term. And if it does last, that will come at the cost of everything else in your life. This is why yo-yoing happens so much. People commit 100%, 110%. They calorie track, they weigh themselves every day, they work out twice a day, and yeah, they lose a whole bunch of weight. But then once that coach disappears, or once that initial motivation disappears, they gain it all back because they can't sustain the lifestyle swap they just implemented. It's too much. Better to be consistent, train a couple times a week for the rest of your life than to go balls to the wall for a month and then quit. Fourth and final tip to be consistent, I said to keep it brief, didn't I? Have some accountability. This can be a coach, it can be a friend, it can be someone from your family, someone to report to and talk to about your goals and how you're progressing. The easiest one is a coach. They're gonna be there at those times where you feel like being inconsistent. They're gonna remind you of what your goals are and what you need to do to achieve them. So that when you feel like falling off, there's someone there to pull you back. Because it's a big load to carry by yourself, right? A big lifestyle switch, especially as an adult and especially as someone that has stuff going on. You know, when I was a uni student and I didn't really care about uni, wasn't the whole time, just a little bit, I promise. It was very easy to make it to the gym. That was like my only activity for the whole day. But now as I run businesses and I have things to do, it's very easy to let it slip away. So having a little bit of accountability is that last little push to keep you on track. Integrate these 4 steps, I promise you'll be more consistent, and consistently doing the right thing leads to results. If you're not sure what the right thing is in terms of training and nutrition, give me a subscribe, or if you got some value from this video, do that too. I'm gonna be covering all of that. We're gonna take you from where you are to where you wanna be as simply and as quickly as possible, and then we're gonna hold it. That being said, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for your time.